Welcome back to this week's episode of On the House. Today I'm at my friend Kimberly's house. She and her husband Jason host the best Halloween parties every year. So we're going to talk to her about tips on how you can host the best Halloween party also. Hey everybody, I am here with my friend Kimberly, and she and her husband host Halloween parties every year that everybody loves to go to. So I thought it would be awesome if you could share some of your tips on how maybe some of our viewers can host their own Halloween party.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking me to be on your video this evening. So I'm really excited to share some great ideas on Halloween parties.
Awesome. So my first question is, how far in advance do you start planning for your Halloween party?
So, you know me well, Christy, and I love to entertain and I love to have parties. I usually start thinking about my Halloween party in June.
Wow.
So, over family vacation, I kind of start planning out our activities for the holiday season. And Halloween is always top of our list. So, my husband and I will sit down, we'll start talking about different aspects of the party and looking at dates and those kinds of things. So we start in June,
Wow.
Believe it or not.
But don't let that deter you. If you get an invite out next week, it will be fine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So when do you typically get your invites out?
So it differs a little bit. I think you need to be cognizant on whether or not you have an adult-only party or you have a party that includes children.
Right.
For my adult-only parties, I want to give my friends enough time to find babysitters because we
Yeah.
all know how difficult it is to find a sitter around the holidays.
For sure.
So I usually go in about a month before, but I've been as late as 2 weeks before.
Okay.
So now is a perfect time to be sending out an invite if you wanted to have a good Halloween party at the end of October.
With your parties, you have a theme. How do you come up with the theme for your parties?
Yeah, so I think it helps folks kind of gauge what to wear.
Yeah.
I am cautious with my themes though. I don't want them to be too narrow, right? So this year our theme is a Mad Hatter Tea Party. And one, I love Alice in Wonderland. And two, it's the 50th anniversary for Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
So there's a ton of costumes out for a Mad Hatter's Tea Party. So it's a lot easier for folks to find something. Usually though, I lean towards classic Halloween. You know, I love to just have the monster mash, right? The witches and the goblins and the ghost. Another great idea is to have like a Hollywood party, throw out a red carpet,
Cool.
and just dress up as your favorite Hollywood star.
Yeah, that's
So
a really good idea.
just make sure it's broad enough for folks to be able to find a good costume and not make it too difficult for them to, get a great idea.
Yeah. Do you do like a contest, or do you just kind of go with the flow and everybody? I know when I've attended in the past, it's always like, who's at the door? Because we're all excited to see who's wearing what.
Yeah. So I think I've done a contest one year and a contest not, and it just kind of depends. Part of that is preparation,
Yeah.
right? If I'm going to do a contest, I want to give some kind of prize, whether
Yeah.
it's a bottle of wine or something silly.
Yeah.
So it really depends on if I've, prepped enough in
Yeah.
advance.
Awesome.
But I think costumes are awesome. And I let, obviously the folks at the party determine who's the best costume.
Yes. So even if there's not an actual contest, there's always a clear winner.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So with your party, what are some other things that you do to make it special?
So a couple different things, right? So every year I have a specialty drink. So this
okay.
year, and this is a great go-to, a red sangria with some oranges, some blackberries. You want to bring in the Halloween flavors. I
Okay.
usually do it in a large decanter type thing so people can just serve themselves.
Nice.
But definitely a signature drink is on my top of the list. The other thing is I like to bring attention to the theme. So for example, last year it was monsters and stuff. My husband and I were Addams Family, so we found a little mechanical hand that ran around the house.
That's right.
This year,
That's
it's
cute.
Alice in Wonderland, so we're gonna have croquet set up in the backyard with some little pink
Oh.
flamingos and those kinds of things. So pick one special thing that people are gonna remember
Yeah.
that go with your theme, and I think you're perfect.
Perfect. And then, of course, like you decorate your whole house for fall,
I do.
and then you add more when it comes time for the party.
I do.
So do you have a certain place that you get your decor, or how do you bring it all together?
So I will have to say Hobby Lobby is one of my favorite shops for all kinds of decor, everyday and holiday decor. So a lot of Hobby Lobby. I look at a lot of blogs. I look through a lot of magazines. I'm a huge Southern Living magazine person, so I'm always looking for fresh ideas. So that's usually where I get most of my ideas, is through magazines and just shopping online. A key thing, though, I think to remember when you are decorating, you don't have to way overdo it. You know, there's those people that are like, oh, I can't have a party because it's going to cost me thousands of dollars to decorate, you know. Not needed, right? Yeah. A little bit goes a long way. And I think you just kind of need to focus on your theme, right? And focus on the areas that you're having most of your people.
Okay. So not like the entire house, just the living spaces.
Right. Not everybody's crazy like me about decorating, Christy. So just where you're going to keep your guest kind of mingling, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So do you serve food at your party? And if so, like, how do you go about coming up with what to serve, or how to come up with recipe ideas?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I personally love to cook as much as I can, but I am a full-time working mom and wife, so I got, you know, a lot on my plate. So I usually will cook about 50% of my items. I would suggest doing something like crock pot, you know, putting something in the crock pot. You can throw it in the morning, leave it and forget it. Things like sausage balls are easy to prep in the morning, and then you just throw them in the oven before the party. I'll go and get Publix subs trays or the little pinwheel trays. The key thing for me is I don't leave it on the plastic tray it comes on. I get them. I put them on my beautiful little platters. And for me, it's all about the layout, right? It's all about how it looks and feels. So, yeah, I'm totally going and buying stuff from the store, so don't think I make everything.
Okay, yes. Definitely take the shortcuts where you can.
Absolutely.
So typically when I've come before, you have one room set up where you have in your dining room like your spread of food that you're offering, and then you set up like a bar or drink area in another room just so that the flow kind of moves around the house, right?
Absolutely. I think that's really important. And I even last year I had food in the kitchen, food in the dining room, and then the bar in the living room. I think it's good to give people opportunities to go in different areas, to mingle with other friends, to have space too, you know, like if we're 20 of us around a dining room table, we're all gonna be cramped.
Yeah.
So just to kind of create your own little flow. And again, with the decorations, you know, if you just want people in 3 rooms, you put food and drink in 3 rooms, they're gonna stay in those 3 rooms. I can guarantee it.
With everything that's going on right now, parties really don't look the same.
That's right.
What are some things that you've done to try and help make it a little safer when you're inviting guests into your home?
Well, first and foremost, if I could have 100 people at my house, I would. But obviously, that's not safe at this time. So we limit our list to folks that we hang out with on a normal basis, people that we see on a normal basis. We are a much smaller party now than we used to be, about 20 people maybe. A couple things that I do also do is disposable hand towels. Don't just put a regular old wet towel there for everybody to wipe their hands on. So I am cognizant of that. The other thing I think you need to consider is your food choices. So in the middle of a pandemic, I don't want to be dipping my hand into a big bowl of chips. And I don't think you want to see anybody else do that. You're not going to want to eat the food.
No double dipping.
That's right. So one of the great ideas you can do is take a little clear plastic like shot glass, put a little ranch dressing in the bottom, put a couple of carrot sticks and some of your other vegetables in there. So it's a single serving for one person to pick up. There's not a lot of hands on it. There's not a lot of people touching it. using tongs, toothpicks, just think about those things when
Yeah.
you're preparing your food.
Thank you so much for joining. I just want to say we'll wrap up with it's still not too late to host your own Halloween party this year. And if it's just not something you want to do during these times, consider hosting a Zoom party.
Absolutely.
We've done some Zoom parties in the past. Send out a little invite. You can send out a signature drink card that everybody can make together on the Zoom party.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your costumes and get together and have fun virtually. So don't let, getting together in person stop you from having some fun this holiday season. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you next week on The House.
Cheers.
Cheers.